Ethel was a singular entity. You know, there has been no string quartet that is quite that thing either. So I'm really drawn to anything that really comes from the heart and comes out slowly, concentratedly, authentically. And Ethel came that way. This tour came that way. In the end, you know, we met so many fans, both of Joe's and Todd's, and you know, all of us have continued some of those relationships. One of my favorite folks that I met over in, well, actually, they came over to the States and did a lot of tours, Chicago and a few others, but they're from England. They're like from, not from London, but from like way out of town, England. And they joined us in Liverpool. They went all around Europe with us, Michael and Veronica, and just some of the most wonderful, wonderful people. And I've maintained my friendships with them ever since that time.
We'd like to thank Bethany St. Marie for coming in last night.
She was here last night. Yeah, that was great. So
she was up late.
She was.
I also want to thank Michael Brown, all the way from England.
All right.
Yep, and Veronica. I always say her name wrong because I think of Victoria and Veronica, and I always mix them up. Hi, Victoria. Hi, Veronica. I'm just going to ask her mother to rename her so it's easy for me. Mrs. Brown, you've got... Oh, no, wait. You've got a lovely daughter.
Well, it's nice to listening from there.
I know.
Yeah?
Oh,
It
yeah.
is.
And you know what's great? That the Browns are so cool because they send King Zora and I things from England, like little clips that they... Weird news. Or they're always on board with our themes. They're always like, oh, this.
Yeah,
giving us info that we hadn't thought of.
That's great.
Yeah, so thank you, Browns. It's been lovely.
Indeed.
Quite lovely indeed.
So thank you, guys.
And we have wonderful...
I wonder if Laura could hit that note in the shower.
In the shower? Yeah.
Now, you said you went to band practice with Laura last night and asked her
I asked her what her guilty pleasure was. She wouldn't.
Her answer?
She said, I emailed Michelle.
And she wouldn't tell you, would she?
No.
It's because it's this.
That's right.
I hope this doesn't cost her too many listeners.
No. I think it's actually going to endear her to the listeners that she has. To know that there's this other element, these elements going on.
Very brave, Laura. Very brave. Very brave.
Very good. Congratulations.
Hey, now I'm going to read this next one. I'm sorry there's another caller here, but I got to read this. This comes to us from, I got to pause it. It's Veronica's husband.
Veronica's husband.
Veronica and her husband live in England. So this is Michael Brown. Now, I normally don't read everybody's email on the air, but you can tell he's a writer. So when asked, what is his guilty pleasure, he says, I guess it depends what circle I'm in at the time. When I'm out with male friends, fueling our testosterone levels with an excess of beer, I rarely bring the conversation around to my love for the entire score of Meet Me in St. Louis.
Louis?
Of course, I should be reading with an English accent, but I suck at that. But all this is merely a way for me to delay admitting what is at the top of my list of cringe-worthy affiliations.
Cringe-worthy affiliations.
At the age of 10, he's going to confess here.
Oh, good.
He must be Catholic. At the age of 10, it was probably the comic book facade of the band that made the biggest impression on me. I've long since jettisoned my then considerable collection of Kiss Army memorabilia, and their albums never made the leap with me when I began to replace vinyl versions from my collection with their CD counterparts. But in all this time, one song has never allowed me to completely put away such foolish things.
Nicely
I'm going to mix up his paragraph, but he says, in retrospect, I think it's the depth of the meaningful lyrics that still haunt me. The opening line, for instance, she's a dancer, a romancer, I'm a Capricorn, she's a Cancer. The likes of which you usually only get from such lyricists of distinction as Dylan, Lennon, and Rundgren. So captivatingly still to me is this track that just unsettling the dust of its memory by writing these few lines has left me with an uncontrollable yearning to draw a bat on my face.
Yay.
And
touch your nose with your tongue.
And from the album Kids Alive, released from 1975, the track Come On and Love Me still opens up something in me. Fortunately, it's not a song I hear in public too much because almost like a hypnotic trigger, by the end of the first chorus, I find myself strutting around while ferociously flicking my tongue about.
Yay.
Let's, it's like 4 o'clock in the morning. Let's hope he's not in an elevator. Thank you, Michael.
Yay, mahalo.
Here's his guilty pleasure. Kiss. Come on and love me.
I'm a Capricorn and she's a Cancer. She saw my picture in a music magazine. When she met me, said she'd get me. Touched her hips and told me that she'd let me. I took her hand, baby, this is what I said. I said, baby, baby, don't you hesitate, 'cause I just can't wait. Say you want to take me down to my knees, you can do what you please. Come on and love me. Come on and love me. Come on and love me. Come on and love me.
We're going to talk to Roger. He's on here with me now. Tell me a little bit about the Toddcast. How did that get started?
I created a few where I asked some questions and I solicited some calls. They weren't live, but people would leave a message, and I would put a question out there. People would answer the question, and then I would put it together as a show. And pretty soon, Michael and Veronica Brown, who live in the UK, came with this idea of this brief history of Todd and these half-hour programs where they are documenting these periods of time, generally focused around a particular album. And those things are wonderful. And you listen to those and you get so much information, and they have so many sound bites and things that, how in the world did they ever find this stuff?
It's very unique. It's almost, I will not do it justice if I try to describe it, but there's some that are kind of like EJ's MP3 she sent me for the being the judge tonight. Then you've got some that are a lot longer, that have history, but some of them even remind me of that 1972 interview Todd did that's floating around, just off the wall here. You got these productions where they just shift gears here and there, and all of it's just very creative, and it's very fun to listen to, and it's, I just, can't applaud the people enough who've done them because they're just so unique and creative, and I'm sure they weren't easy to do, but they're wonderful to listen to, and obviously they're on trconnection.com on the Toddcast page, but that was a great idea, and that's a great name, Toddcast.
Our Connection Podcasts present A Brief History of Todd. Chapter 1. Jazz Took Run.
Rundgren. Todd. Rundgren. Todd Rundgren. Todd Rundgren. Right. That's so.
He's an artist, he's a band leader, he's a producer, he's an arranger. He's a musician. He's a video pioneer, innovator, and a man who has given us great rock and roll, unquestionably. Please welcome Todd Rundgren, ladies and gentlemen. Todd.
Hi, kids. This is Todd Rundgren, candidate for president on the rock and roll ticket.
nice love ballad.
Hello, it's me. I thought about us for a long, long time. Maybe I think too much, but something's wrong. There's something here that doesn't last too long. Maybe I shouldn't think of you as mine.
1967, the birth of the Naz.
Seeing you, or seeing anything as much as I do. I take for granted that you're always there. I take for granted that you just don't care. Sometimes I can't help seeing all the way through.
A lot of people don't know that Hello, It's Me was your first song that you ever even wrote, and it went that far. It changed lots
it's
since then.
very strange. Unfortunate situation, since people seem to think of you in that kind of what now is about 30-year-old space. And of course, whoever it was that I wrote the song about, I've completely forgotten. Yet people still want to hear it, but I make no guarantees about what I play during the shows.
Yeah, well, you still, you got a lot of hits. You got to start somewhere, and you started with a hit, and that is something else.
It sucks.
Everybody thinks that the most fantastical thing that could ever happen in the world is to have a hit record. But no. How would you like it if you're 80 years old, won the Nobel Peace Prize for discovering the cure for cancer, and tried to be a good person all your life and discover the meaning of life, and you're walking down the street, hobbling down the street at 80 years old, ready to face the final curtain, doing it my way, and then somebody yells out, "Hey, run! Hello, it's me!" Things could be worse. Things could always be worse. It could still be Reagan's first term.
Did you ever go back and listen to the Naz albums?
No, never. Maybe someday I'll be drunk enough to do it, but that day hasn't occurred yet. In fact, I don't even think I possess any Naz albums.
Really?
No. I'd have to go out to the store and buy some.
Underneath your gaze I was found in the haze I'm wandering around in. I am lost in the dark of my own room, and I can't see a thing but the fire in your eyes. Make me wise, or is all I believe is lies. Don't know when or where to go, and I can't see a thing to open my eyes. I've been told by some you'll forget me, the thought doesn't upset me. I am blind to whatever they're saying, and all I can see is the fire in your eyes. Make me wise.
Hi, everybody. We're the Naz from Philadelphia.
He says, "You men know the call of the wild Naz." He says, "Your Naz is showing." He says if he catches you with his wife again, he'll break your Naz.
Believe that it's on your mind. Leave me behind.
Your first commercially successful band was Naz, right?
Naz wasn't commercially successful.
I think I'd rather be a cop. I think that's what I'd like to be. I'd show you people a thing or two. If a man in blue starts beating on you, look out 'cause it might be me.
I was wondering if you took that from Lord Buckley.
Now, as a matter of fact, we took it from the B-side of Yardbird single.
Well, I can't continue the interview.
The B-side of Happenings 10 years time ago was called The Naz Are Blue.
Searching for my baby. I think I'm gonna cry. Yes, I'm searching for my baby. I think I'm gonna cry. I can't find that woman, no matter how hard I try. Well, I bought myself a car.
What does that mean?
What
Or
does
is
it mean?
just a
we had
poetical,
no idea. You know, we
euphemistic
figured it
term?
had to have 4 letters and 2 Z's in it. So
4 letters and 2
weren't a lot of
Z's.
words like that. So.
Like jazz.
Yeah, it
which,
could have
as
been
you know,
jazz,
is
but-
a euphemism for intercourse, but that's a totally other discussion.
The band, ironically enough, only lasted maybe 18 months before we started to disintegrate. We barely got through our second album, and then the cracks started to show, and then after that, it all fell apart. So we enjoyed a whole lot of notoriety that we, after the fact, that we never got to experience when the band was together, and who knows what that would have done from a historical standpoint.
A good way to start a career, though.
Oh, I can't complain about it. I got to learn a lot of things that otherwise would have taken me many years.
Wake up. Wake up. Come on, wake up. Wait.
Huh?
Tell me quick. What was your first production?
Oh, man, I was sleeping, man. Give me a break, would
Quick now,
you?
time is running out.
The American Dream.
That's right. Yay! That's right. You got it right.
Encouraging words and
spring of 1970, Rundgren completes his first solo album.
So your first solo LP was Grunt and the Ballad of Todd Rundgren in 19, right?
Grunt, yeah.
Grunt. What did I say? Did I say Grunt?
Yeah, from jazz to grunge.